Hey, what's up, guys? Today we are here at Bodie State Historic Park, one of the ghost towns here in California, located in Mono County. I suggest if you guys planning to visit this place, have a 4x4 or a little bit higher vehicle because it's a rough road like the last 3 miles. Also, this place is crowded. It's not a ghost town. It's just like it's busy town. Okay, let's go and explore this place. Bodie is a ghost town east of the Sierra Nevada mountain range in Mono County, California in the United States. Its history all began with the native people. The eastern Sierra Nevada region of Mono County was home to the Northern Paiute and Mono Lake Paiute tribes, who lived in family units and thrived as hunter-gatherers. The Northern Paiutes gathered native plants, hunted small game, and fished, migrating seasonally in search of food. The Mono Lake Paiutes relied heavily on the lake and alkali fly larvae and brine shrimp, supplementing their diet with local plants and small animals. Basket weaving was a cherished art form, with beautifully crafted baskets used for gathering, storing, and cooking. However, the gold rush in Bodie forced Native Americans off their land. By the early 1900s, only 5% of the original territory remained. As settlers depleted resources by cutting down forests, displacing wildlife, and overgrazing, many Paiutes adapted by seeking work in local towns. They found jobs at lime kiln in the Mono Lake Basin, loading lime for delivery to Bodie, and took on various service and ranching roles. As placer mining waned on the Sierra's western slopes, gold discoveries in the eastern Sierra attracted thousands of prospectors. In 1859, W.S. Bodie and his team found promising placer deposits but tried to keep their discovery a secret. Unfortunately, Bodie perished in a blizzard while attempting to return. Eventually, the ore extracted from the Bodie Hills yielded millions of gold and silver. But mining activity in Bodie was slow during the 1860s and 70s. As strikes in Aurora, Nevada, and the Comstock mine in Virginia City drew attention away. From 1863 to 1877, only a few dedicated miners worked the Bodie mines. In the mid-1870s, the Bunker Hill Mine, later known as the Standard Mining Company, struck rich gold and silver deposits. Over 25 years, nearly 10,000 tons of ore were extracted, generating about $15 million. Each town is not without a reputation. The success of the Standard Mining Company ignited a rush to Bodie, transforming it into a boom town by 1877. 2 years later, the population soared to about 8,500, with over 2,000 buildings, including general stores, and more than 60 saloons and dance halls, which catered to miners seeking relaxation after long shifts. Bodie earned a reputation of lawlessness, marked by gunfights, robberies, and street brawls, giving rise to the legend of the Bad Man of Bodie. Historians suggest this figure is a blend of various outlaws, including notable figures like Tom Adams and Washoe Pete, who embodied the town's wild spirit. The boom in Bodie benefited various businesses and individuals. with miners arriving and stump mills needing wood for processing and heating. A demand for timber surged. Many Chinese laborers who had come from southern China in 1878 transported wood using mule trains from sawmills 20 miles away. By 1881, the Bodie and Benson Railroad improved lumber transport from Mono Hills. The Chinese community, numbering several hundred, established their own enclave on King City, creating a Chinatown that included general stores, laundries, boarding houses, gambling halls, saloons, and a Taoist temple. They also earned income by selling vegetables, making charcoal, and working on the railway. Bodie's boom was brief. By 1881, the town faced decline as rich mines ran dry and many miners and businesses left for better opportunities. By 1886, the population dropped to around 1,500. A devastating fire in 92 destroyed several homes and businesses. The cyanide process and cheap electricity revived mining in the 1890s, briefly boosting the town. However, another fire in 1932 devastated the town, leaving only 10% of it intact. Finally, Bodie became a ghost town in the 1940s. In 1962, the remnants of the town that survived the 1932 fire were designated a State Historic Park and a National Historic Landmark. The preserved site, kept in arrested decay, remains as it was when the last residents left, with interior still furnished and stocked, offering a glimpse into the past. In 1988, a Canadian mining company proposed a large open-pit gold mine near the town, threatening the historic charm and fragile structures. Preservation groups and citizens lobbied for the Bodie Protection Act of 1994, which halted new mining claims in the area and allowed California state parks to acquire the mining claims of the bankrupt company, safeguarding this unique California treasure. Today we'll be exploring this rough road to the town, which costs about $8 per adult, $5 for children ages 4 to 17, while 3 and under are free. With the map, we'll be visiting some of the historic sites in the area. Guys, there are a lot of buildings here in Bodie, but there are a few ones that has a important historical meaning to them. So let me explain to you some of them. So let's get right into it. MacDonald Dolan House. Donald and his son Frank MacDonald listed as miners on the 1920 census. They live here with Donald's wife Mary, who was Bodie's postmistress. Alice Dolan, daughter of Sheriff James Dolan, lived here from 1935 to 37. Methodist Church. Built in 1882, this is the only remaining church in Bodie. W.J. Clinton, a mining company head in the late 1920s, restored it and often preached here. An oilcloth displaying the 10 Commandments, including "Thou shalt not steal," was stolen. D.V. Kane House. Built in 1873, This home belonged to David Victor Kane, son of James S. Kane. The family sold Bodie to California State Parks in 1962. In 1904, D.V. Kane married Ellie M. Cody, a school teacher who later founded the Bodie Museum. Red Barn. This barn is typical of the large barns once used throughout Bodie. Miller House. Tom Miller, a Canadian-born teamster for the Bodie Railway and Lumber Company, worked at Mon Hills near Mono Lake, supplying timber for mine supports and boilers. In 1900, he and his wife Jessie lived here with their 2 children. James Stewart Kane House. James Kane arrived in Bodie in 1879 at age 25, after marrying Martha Delilah Wells. He started in the lumber business using barges and steamship on Mono Lake. In 1888, he became a banker, running Bodie Bank until 1932. In 1915, he acquired the Standard Company mining properties and became the town's principal property owner. Always believing Bodie's mines would rebound. Sawmill. With snow up to 20 feet, winds reaching 100 miles per hour, and temperatures dropping to -30 or 40 Fahrenheit, firewood was essential to heat Bodie's poorly built homes. The harsh winter of 1878 to 79 was especially deadly, as many new arrivals unprepared for the conditions died from exposure or disease. Trying to finish this Bodie brochure. They have like 50 lists, so bear with us and hopefully we finish all of them. MacDonald House. Dan MacDonald was injured in the 1879 explosion at the Standard Powder magazine. Later, Burkham family owned this house. Solomon Burkham ran a store on Main Street in the 1880s to 90s. Metzger House. Henry Metzger, born in New York, came to Bodie in 1878 to work for the Standard Company and became a mill foreman until its closure in 1913. In the early 1900s, he lived here with his wife Lena and their 5 children. Donnelly House. Butcher Charlie Donnelly and his wife, artist Annie Pagden, originally lived here. In the early 1900s, Emil W. Bileb, last superintendent of the Bodie Railway and Lumber Company, and his wife Dolly resided here. Sailor House. Swiss-born saloon keeper August Sailor arrived during Bodie's boom, working as a bartender before owning several saloons, including Sailor's on Main Street. He also mined. Sailor and his wife Teresa had 3 daughters and a son who died at age 3. Cameron House. Andrew Cameron, born in Canada, was a Bodie miner. He lived here in the 1900s with his wife and 2 children. L. E. Bell House. Canadian Lester E. Bell managed the cyanide plant built by the Standard Company to extract gold from tailings and low-grade ore. His wife Charity was the sister of Martha Kane, wife of James Kane. Their son Lester became an assayer for Bodie's mining companies. Murphy McRae House. Nearly 40 people named Murphy appear on Bodie's 1880 census. Some Murphys included Art, who ran a stage line, and JC, president of the Big Meadow and Bodie Toll Road. However, no Murphy is recorded as living here. The last owner was carpenter William McRae. Reddy House. One-armed attorney Patrick Reddy, known for defending Eastern Sierra miners, lived here with his wife Emily. Reddy had offices in Bodie and San Francisco, a 40-hour stagecoach ride apart. He later became a California state senator. Bell's Assay and Machine Shop. Bobby Bell, son of Lester Bell, was born in Bodie in 1914 and worked in the mines and stump mill. He helped stabilize Bodie's buildings in the 1960s and 70s and contributed to the early years of the state park. He died in 2003 and is buried in the Bodie Cemetery. Kirkwood House. Stuart Kirkwood, owner of the stables, was also a deputy sheriff and later a Mono County supervisor. Moyle House. This is one of two Moyle's family houses. The Moyle brothers ran a store and a soda bottling plant on Main Street. Cody House. Michael Cody arrived in Bodie in 1879 and was elected Mono County Sheriff in 1888. By 1900, he was a miner living in Bodie with his wife Catherine and 6 children. He died in a mining accident near Bridgeport in 1905. Chinatown site. Only 2 buildings and some ruins remain of Bodie's once large Chinatown. Wood frame structures lined King Street, offering stores, laundries, gambling halls, saloons, boarding houses, and a Taoist temple. Opium dens were popular with both Chinese and Caucasians. Chinese residents faced discrimination. They were excluded from the miners' union and earned a living selling vegetables, running laundries, and cutting firewood. Jail. The town jail seems small given Bodie's lawless boom years. From 1878 to 1881, Constable John Kerrigan oversaw it. In 1881, vigilants took accused murderer Joseph DeRouche from the jail and hanged him, leading to Kerrigan's temporary demotion. Kirkwood Stable and Blacksmith Shop. Hundreds of horses and mules hauled goods during Bodie's peak years. This stable, owned by Stuart Kirkwood, included a blacksmith shop for shoeing horses, mules, and oxen. Moyle Warehouse. Built in 1879, it was one of many stone warehouses constructed to store supplies for long, cold Bodie winters. Bodie Bank. The only remains of the Bodie Bank after the 1932 fire are its brick vaults. Founded by E.L. Benedict and bought by James Kane in 1890, the bank was never robbed, though a 1916 burglary netted $2,000, bullion, and other valuables. Chinese Laundry. The building on this site was moved from Bonanza Street. Town residents often move buildings to different locations over the years, usually after fires. Standard Mill. The Standard Mine, once known as the Bunker Hill and the Bullion Mine, was the most successful of 30 in the Bodie mining district. Stumps crushed quartz to extract gold and silver, while mercury separated the metals. An 1875 mine collapse exposed a rich ore vein, sparking the rush to Bodie. Currently, the area is only accessible through guided tours. Queenville House. Frank Queenville, a Canadian native, moved to Bodie in the 1880s and worked as a blacksmith for the Standard Mine and Mill until the early 1900s. He and his wife Mary had 5 children. Dr. Street House. Dr. John Street was a physician for the Treadwheel Yukon Mining Company from 1930 to 32. During Bodie's boom, doctors treated mining accidents, smallpox, cholera, and pneumonia. Miller Boarding House. Annie Curry Miller from Minnesota moved to Bodie during the boom with her miner husband William. She first ran the Occidental Hotel, then opened this boarding house for bachelor miners, and also owned the rooming house across the street. Conway House. Thomas Robert Conway, born in Canada in 1875, lived here with his wife Annie and their 3 children. They were considered to be Bodie's last residents. Macmillan House. A. E. Macmillan was secretary of the Bodie Miners Union in 1885. His son Dan, who had only one arm, was manager of the Bodie baseball team in the early 1900s. Gregory House. Nathan Gregory ran a cattle ranch between Bodie and Aurora. He and his wife Catherine appeared on the 1900 census with 4 children. Their youngest son, Spencer, became a mining engineer and was one of Bodie's last residents. Schoolhouse. Originally the Bon Ton Lodging House, this building became a school after the first was allegedly burned by a delinquent. In 1879 to 1880, it had its highest enrollment of 615 students, and it closed down in 1942. Hydroelectric Building. Previously a substation for distribution of the town's electricity in 1910, the electrical equipment inside now dates from the late 1930s. Wheaton and Lurs. In the early 1880s, George Wheaton and Nicholas Lurs built a store here, originally named after them. After Lurs' death, the sign was replaced with Bodie Store. In 1910, it became offices for the hydroelectric company and later a hotel and boarding house in the late 1920s. Swayze Hotel. Horace Swayze was a Nevada rancher who bought this 2-story hotel in 1894. It also housed a clothing store and a casino in later years. Boone Store and Warehouse Barn. Built in 1879, this store was owned by Harvey Boone, a distant cousin of Daniel Boone, and partner James Wright. The south wall features food and gas cans as siding. Boone was active in the community, serving as county supervisor, school trustee, and president of the Bodie Water Company. Lottie and Eli Joel House. They were married in Nevada and moved to Bodie in 1883. Their successful mining investments allowed them to buy homes and saloons. From 1932 to 42, the post office was located here. Sam Leon's Bar and Barber Shop. He opened the bar in 1937 after losing his U.S. hotel in the 1932 fire. The building had previously been a restaurant run by the Hayes family. Born in China in 1879, Leon also operated cafes and boarding houses in Bodie. The adjoining barber shop was owned by Joe Hanner, Bodie's last barber. Firehouse. Rebuilt in the 1930s by the California Conservation Corps, this firehouse served volunteer firefighting companies. Morgue. One of two remaining mortuaries in Bodie. This building may have been moved here after 1888, when the Bodie House Hotel at this corner was destroyed by fire. Caskets are still inside. Miners' Hall or Museum. Built in 1878, the hall was central to Bodie's social life, hosting meetings, religious services, balls, parties, and recitals. The union, founded in 1877, became Local 61 of the Western Federation of Miners in 1903. Today, it is now a museum and bookstore. IOOF Hall and the Deschambault Hotel. The Lodge number 279 was one of Bodie's fraternal societies. The upper floor was used by the lodge, while Henry Ward's undertaking and furniture business occupied the first floor. While beside it was the old post office, which was moved there in 1879. Later it became the Deschambault Hotel, and in Bodie's final years, a bar and cafe. So guys, I'm standing right here where an infamous murder occurred during Bodie's mining days. So let me talk about it a little bit. Murder site of Thomas Traylors. On January 14, 1881, miner Thomas Traylor was killed here. Witnesses said Joseph DeRoche, who was involved with Traylor's wife, shot him after a dance. DeRoche was arrested but escaped, only to be recaptured. After being jailed, a vigilant group known as 601 took him from his cell and hanged him. Red Cloud mining equipment. This equipment, relocated from the Red Cloud mine, includes a head frame that once stood over the mine's vertical shaft. Beneath it were cages for miners and ore. Nearby are steam hoist and air compressor. Cemetery. Bodie has over 200 known burial sites, with more than 150 markers in the cemetery. While some are legible, others have been damaged by vandals or worn down by harsh winters. Grave site, or the tomb of William Bodie, the one who discovered Bodie mines. Bodie, a well-preserved ghost town, holds significant historical importance as a symbol of the American Gold Rush era. Today, it stands as a unique glimpse into the past, with its preserved buildings and artifacts, illustrating the transient nature of boomtowns and the impact of mining on the development of the American West. You guys, that's it for Bodie State Historic Park. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye! If you like our videos, please click thumbs up for like.
Hit the bell to subscribe!
Please comment.
And don't forget to share!